Do we even know what work experience means? It's probably one of the most used words in recruitment and potentially one that gets chucked around too lightly without truly understanding its impact when trying to find entry level talent. Now, experience refers to the practical contact with and observation of facts or events, or in other contexts, an event or occurrence which leaves an impression on someone. Personally, I actually like that last definition, and we often talk about lived experience, which really just means I've been there, I've done that, this is what I've learned. And we attribute immense value to experience because we want our employees to know the tasks that our businesses need to thrive and survive. Not only this, but we expect these people to hit the ground running when we hire them because they have the lived experience. And this is almost never the case because each business has its own process and operations, which take time to get used to no matter how much experience that you have under your belt. But hey, there might actually be people who really do hit the ground running. So hats off to whoever you are. Now, don't get me wrong, experience is one of our most valuable assets. But are we fostering a mindset that this is the be all and end all of entry level recruitment? Now, this is experience versus skills. In my line of work, the word experience gets used far too often with little regards to the impact on the audience these businesses are trying to attract. Now, when you're trying to attract entry level talent, you will immediately switch someone off when you use the word experience in the job description. But why? Well, believe it or not, entry level talent is looking for the mystical creature called experience. Can you believe it? So when you put must have experience in your job description, it's a trigger that says to the reader, well, I don't have any experience. They're looking for experience, so I'm not going to read past the first sentence. Sounds very basic, but this happens time and time again. Using the word skills and phrases like exposure to will have a massive difference in this scenario. Now, growing up as a keen rugby player, I was fortunate enough to captain my university team in my final year, and we had some really skilled players, and a new batch of first years had just come through. And these players didn't have any university rugby experience and had only been exposed to school, club level with players of their own age. University rugby is a big step up in terms of physicality, speed, endurance, and as captain, you want to put your best players out on the field to have the best possible chance of winning. No way. But here's the thing, you could have played 200 university rugby games, but it doesn't actually mean you're a good player. So you can't pick players based on experience alone. And rugby training was a massive eye opener because these first year players had the opportunity to showcase their skills and potential, not their experience. They were able to give me a taste of their skills, which gave me a vision of what their potential could look like on game day. And let me tell you, some of these players went on to be some of our best players in our team for many seasons to come. Now, why have I just talked about rugby for the last 45 seconds? Well, the moral of the story is you need to give entry level talent an environment to show you their skills and their potential. And not only this, but you need to give them an environment where it's okay to make mistakes. Research has shown that employees value employers who give them a safety net to be creative, to make mistakes without being questioned or shouted at. And if I said to one of our players, sorry, you're not playing university rugby this year, we would never have a team. And 4 years on, every senior player would have left and no one to take their place and continue their legacy. So it's the same thing within business. Succession plan with exciting entry level talent who bring fresh and creative skills into your organization. Now, someone could have a ton of experience but be a really poor culture fit. You really need to dive deep here to understand what is the most important thing in your business. Now, I've spoken to many of our clients recently, and the vast majority highlighted that they valued culture fit more than skills when they're hiring students and graduates. And then some also went on to say that skills can be taught, but attitude can't. Now, in many ways, I agree with them, but the balance is really what we need here. Now, question for you: has someone ever told you, I think you left quite an impression on them? Now, usually when someone says that, it's in a positive context, and what it really means is that you have impacted an individual in a positive way that has changed their outlook or understanding of a particular event, object, or individual. This genuinely makes you feel good. I know that it does for me if I left an impression on someone, and knowing that you've impacted someone's life in a positive or constructive way is something that gives us purpose and fulfillment. You've given someone an experience and it's imprinted on them for life. Now, this in its most basic form is how we learn and gain lived experience. Now, I want you to think of a moment when you had your first job and something major happened that left a lasting positive impression on you. It might have changed the way that you approach a situation or a particular piece of work or how you liaise with or deal with difficult situations. Now, whatever it is, you still remember it and it's ingrained into who you are as a person and how you behave around others. Now, on the flip side, can you imagine how things would be, what things would be like now if you hadn't been given an opportunity to experience that event? Maybe less informed, maybe less experienced. And there is a bit of research, and there's a reason why leaving a positive impression on people feels good. Well, as humans, we have a vision of our ideal selves, who we want to be. And then there's who we actually are right now. And if who we want to be aligns with our lived behaviors, then there's congruency. We feel satisfied, motivated, fulfilled, and content. However, if our lived behaviors don't match with who we want to be, then we feel dissatisfied, we feel demotivated, we feel sad, sometimes even depressed. This is incongruency. In other words, make your actions match your ambitions. And this is always an iterative process. And whilst these lived behaviors may have positive intent, like I must go to the gym to be healthier, they're not always the right fit the first time. So we need to continue going to the gym, tweaking and adapting to learn what the right method actually looks like. Now, a wise man in Aberdeen once told me that the reason most people fail is because they stop learning. So what I want you to think about next is the next time that you think of the word experience when you're hiring entry level talent, don't think about what previous work that they have done within your industry. That might sound strange. Think about what skills they have and what impression that you can have on them that will literally catapult their potential and make them never want to leave. Thanks.